All right, Patrick, we got 6 sticky notes for today's episode. The first one we're going to talk about is this recent sucker punch provided by the Bank of Canada as they increase interest rates. Now people are worried. The market is kind of uncertain, I think is the best way to describe it. And I currently benefited from this rate increase. So I'll tell that story in a little bit. I was actually, it couldn't have happened at a better time for me,
Wow.
but yeah, I mean, rate increase definitely felt like a sucker punch. I didn't think it was going to be helpful to me. It turned out to be very helpful to me. I'll tell that story in a bit. But talk to me about this recent sucker punch, Patrick. They raised it 25 basis points. Nobody thought that. What was your last prediction? Your last prediction was that they were going to stay put. I predicted that they were going to decrease just because I'm a contrarian. That didn't work. I was way off, but they actually increased.
Yeah, well, that was exactly what they did. They increased and people just were not expecting it. The market was not expecting it. And so when they increased, it of course does a couple things. It takes the sentiment, turns it negative. We were actually having some positive sentiment. Everybody's going, okay, look at the housing market continues. People are willing to pay those interest rates. And guess what happened? Macklin comes along, goes, no, we're slowing this baby down. Big increase. Now what's going to happen is you're going to start to see consumer confidence drop. You're going to start to see the housing market slow because people are going to have to adjust to this new rate. And can they afford it? It's going to crush affordability. And I'm using the word crush. Those are big words to use, and I get it. But ultimately, that's the sentiment around it. Now, what does it mean to us as investors? Well, we keep saying it. We keep saying it. We keep saying it. We beat that drum. Rental demand will continue to increase, as will rents eventually, in just the normal course of inflation, because as rates go up, those rate increases get passed on to the end user, called the renter in this case. And we'll start to see rents continue to increase. I don't think it'll be dramatic and it won't be in all regions, but they will increase and the demand will definitely increase.
You're being a little bit of a prima donna today, Patrick. I mean, it's going to crush the real estate market. Come on. It's not going to crush the real estate market. It's taken, I will say, it has taken some wind out of the sails, because definitely a lot of markets were really starting to heat up. We were starting to see multiple offers. Patrick, we were talking about that on the last episode of Rein It In. No doubt it's taken a little wind out of those sails, but to say it's going to crush it, easy there, bud. Easy.
Okay, JG, you don't listen to me. I've told you that before. If you rewind this video, you're going to hear what I said is sentiment. And that's what's going to crush. So the sentiment will crush. Doesn't mean the market's going to crush or drop dramatically, but sentiment is definitely going to slow down because people are kind of going,
oh, I don't even know what to do right now. I cannot afford the down payment. I cannot afford the payments. And will the banks continue to extend amortization?
So that's what I was saying.
We'll have the producers rewind like a Ted Lasso episode. So let's see how that goes. Here's my story of how this recently benefited me. I've been in negotiation, Patrick, for how many months now have you and I been saying that there are incredible deals out there if investors are serious and if they're thinking about real estate as a long-term play, which you should be. You should not be thinking about this year or next year. You should be thinking 5, 8, 10, 20 years out when you think real estate. There are some great deals to be had. I've been saying this. You've been saying this. We've been talking about this for friggin' months. In fact, all of this year, we've been saying this very, very aggressively. Well, I went to lunch with my realtor, last 2 weeks ago, I think it was. He says, JG, you should look at this deal. I think there's a deal here. They're asking too much for it. They're not going to get it. It's an estate sale. Let's see if you want to put in an offer. So I decided, okay, let's put in an offer. They started by asking $700,000. They weren't getting it. This is a single family home. It's a perfect flip opportunity. So they were asking $700,000. That price came down from $700,000 to $620,000. And I'll save you the details of all the negotiation, but I essentially picked it up for $515,000, almost $200,000 less than asking. But the reason that I was able to close that deal is it happened, and I put in my final offer.
Take it or leave it.
The morning the rate increase happened. And I think it spooked the seller the same way it spooked a little bit of the market. And they thought, well, if we don't take this offer for $515,000, I might not even get that if I wait an extra day and if I refuse this offer, because my last offer was a no condition firm offer. So anyways, the point is, Patrick, I picked up a great deal. This is a great property. We're going to do a great flip on it. It's going to be an incredible, opportunity for those that are taking part of it. But the point is, I don't know if I would have got it quite at that price if it wouldn't have been for that rate increase that morning.
Well, JG, I love that you shared that story because it really speaks to what we share with the REIN community all the time. And we talk about consumer confidence. This is a perfect example of you looking at the news, the facts, the data. You have confidence in what you're seeing because you're looking at the data. Whereas in this case, the seller made an emotional decision because they don't understand what's going on. Those are the opportunities that are out there for those who actually embrace the data that we share. Is get out of the emotionality of it, quit buying into the headlines and opportunities. You will then see opportunities like JG picked up there. So I think it's a perfect example because you're confident in it. Why are you confident? Because you're just looking at the data. You're taking the emotionality out of it. And in this case, the vendor was very emotional in the sale. And of course, the icing on the cake, if you will, or the cherry on the whatever, was them getting that rate increase or hearing that rate increase and put them over the edge.
Yeah, so definitely the rate increase, bit of a sucker punch, but has may create some opportunities for the right real estate investors at the right time. No doubt about it. But very, very timely by the Bank of Canada and surprising to the market, including myself. I remember thinking, "Oh shit, not another one." That was my gut reaction when it first happened, Patrick.
Yeah, I get it. I was the same way. It kind of shut me down. I'm going, "What the hell are they doing?" We're going to talk about that shortly. If you like what you learned here, go to the description below and subscribe for our free Insiders newsletter, where you can also stay up to date for our upcoming events and our courses.
If you want to see more stuff like this, click here. If you want to see the entire show, click there.